there YouTube, it's Ben here once again. Welcome back to PickACard Tutorials, and it's part 2 of my 4-ace routine tutorial for the second part. The second part of this is basically Vernon's Twisted Aces, and it's pretty much a blow-by-blow copy of his original with some of my own patter put in. This is an absolute classic of card magic. It's a real staple of card magic, and it's something that I think all magicians should aspire to do some version of, because it gets really great reactions. The whole principle of the trick hinges around one relatively straightforward slide, and that's called the Elmsley Count. So before I get onto the workings of the routine, I'm going to show you how an Elmsley Count works. Okay, so the Elmsley Count works. If I have my 4 aces right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can count through them very fairly, and you can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that I'm counting. You can see 4 cards with red backs. But what about that one? The green belt right there. That's from an Artifice Emerald deck. I'd get them, they're quite cool. So yes, as you can probably imagine from that, the Elmsley Count is a way of concealing a card in a packet. And most traditionally, it is done with 4 cards concealing the third. In this case, I'm going to have the ace of spades face up in the packet. So as you can see, we count 2, 3, 4. And it looks very fair. We'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hiding the ace of spades at the bottom. Okay, so let's get into the workings of how this is done. First of all, it's the third card that is the odd card, or the card that's the other way around, or a card with a different back. Or you can actually just do an Elmsley Count if you might want to. There are some tricks where you do an Elmsley Count with all the cards face down, and there's a reason for doing that, which we'll get onto in the future. But different applications of we'll look at a bit later on. Let's just look at the basic workings for now. So you have your 4 cards, and the third one down, in this case is the ace of hearts, is going to be face up. So it works like this. Hold the packet in this grip here, between your thumb and your index finger. What you're going to do, you're going to peel off the first card, and that generally just falls into your other hand. Now, here's the tricky part, the bit of the slide that is the most difficult. What you do, you bring the card underneath, and first of all, with this card that you've already peeled off, you're going to collect in between the index finger and the third finger of the other hand. So it sits underneath the rest of the packet. And as you do that, you're going to block push off the top 2 cards on that packet and swipe them off with your thumb. Okay, let me show you that again. Take out the first card, and that rests in there. And as you come back, you've got 3 cards in this hand now, and the second one down is face up. You're going to bring it back under there, collect the bottom card, the ace of spades, with the middle and index finger, block push off the top 2, swipe off for 2, swipe off for 3, and swipe off for 4. And your face up card is now on the bottom. Okay, so when you get that into a nice rhythm, it should look a little bit like this. It shouldn't look like that, it should look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks very fair. Don't do it too fast, is my advice. Normally you start a trick slowly and you speed it up, especially with a move like this. In this case, you actually, you do want to start it slowly, especially when you're practicing trying to get the actual workings of the mechanics. 1, 2, 3, 4. But eventually you want to get it to a speed where it's probably just comfortable. 1, 2, 3, 4. The key for this one is smooth. Smooth rather than speed. So you can do it very fast, but it's going to go wrong. Okay? It might not go wrong if you put enough work into it, but it just seems a little bit pointless. It looks like it's rushed. It wants to look natural and relaxed. That's the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a very bad example of a different count, which I'm not going into just now. But yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just flashing the Elmsley there as that comes out. But that's the basics of the move right there. Take off your top card, block push off the next 2, 3, and 4. Okay, it needs to look very natural, very smooth. Okay, so that's your basic Elmsley Count. Practice that. And you will have the makings of this Vernon routine, which looks like this. You start off with the 4 aces face up. you show the spades, the hearts, the clubs and the diamonds. I always make a point of saying spades, hearts, clubs and diamonds, and there's a very good reason for that, because when I put them together, if I've said spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds, they're expecting the ace of spades to be on the top. I always put it so it's actually the third one down. Keep the black cards on the bottom, the red cards on top. You do that with them, push them together with the spades and the hearts packet as the second packet down, flip them over, and because you said the ace of spades first, so expecting the ace of spades to be on the top, so when you do your triple lift, which is what that is, the ace of spades is on the top. Okay, so first move there, once you've got the cards in position, triple lift, ace of spades. Okay, now the next thing you need to do, you've got to get like this. You've got to get the ace of spades the other way around, leaving these two cards face up in the middle of the deck. And in order to do that, you need to get the ace of spades from there to there. Now, if you go like that, they're going to see the card underneath is the wrong way round, okay? And they're going to twig straight away that something's not right. If you do something like this, and just take it away without any explanation, they're going to think that's weird. So there's a couple of ways around. You can do it under the guise of misdirection, which is one way of doing it. Say I'll turn the ace of spades over, and that's all I'm doing. I'm turning cards over. And actually, as you do that, you flip the whole thing. However, it seemed a little bit messy to me. So I actually decided to make this part of the routine. So what I actually say, I have the patter of it being, if I was a dealer in a casino, I'll probably turn cards over very fairly. Supreme irony, because I'm actually doing a triple lift there. But then I go on to say, if I was a card sharp, however, or a swindler, I'll probably turn cards over a little bit dodgily, so it looks like I'm doing something funny. And actually saying that it looks like you're doing something funny sort of overrides the suspicion that you are doing something funny, if that makes sense. So I mean, I must have done this routine 100 times, and I've never ever been called on it. So you put it away and just say, if I was a card sharp, I'd do something a little bit dodgy so you can't see. And they don't question that, because you've already said, yeah, dealers do it fairly. They do it, turn it over like that. Card sharps do it like that. I then go and say, but because I'm a magician, I've got a very special way of turning cards over, and all I do is I give them a spin, and then you go into the trick, and then you actually, it sort of justifies what you've just done, which is quite nice. So once you've got that into that position, you say, I'm a magician, I do the cards, I give them a spin. You don't have to do that. That was the original twisting the aces patter. I give the cards a twist. You don't have to do that. You can come up with your own if you like. But at this point, you do your first Elmsley Count, and you'll see that gives us the ace of diamonds. Square up the packet, twist it again, do another Elmsley Count, and you'll see the ace of diamonds goes back down, and the ace of clubs comes to the top. Now this time, instead of completing the Elmsley Count, the last card, after you've shown card number 4, goes to the bottom. Square it up, but maintain a break under that card you've just put to the bottom. So again, you've got a break under the top 3. And you say, now at this point I'm going to turn the ace of clubs back over to make this a bit more difficult. I'm going to turn it back over to make it fairer, however you want to do that. But again, do your triple lift there. So the ace of clubs goes back down, but so does the ace of diamonds, but at the same time the ace of hearts gets flipped the right way up. So you do that triple lift, give them another twist, and at this point you don't want to do an Elmsley Count. This is just a straight count through like that. And you see the ace of hearts has turned around. Okay? So that's just a normal count, no Elmsley Count there. That's very important to remember. Now at this point you will say, okay, I'm going to bring the ace of hearts back to the top, and I'm going to take these 3 cards and put them to the bottom. Now actually what you've got there is just 2 cards, and you've maintained the ace of spades the wrong way round there. So I'm going to take, but they think it's 3, and if you do it with, casually enough, they will not question it. And again, it's nothing I've ever been questioned on. Just say, I'm going to take these 3 cards and put them to the bottom. And as far as they're concerned, you've just taken the other 3, put them underneath, and turn the whole thing over. So you're now in a position to hide the ace of spades in an Elmsley Count. And then you can say something like, the ace of spades is the most difficult because it's got the most ink. So see, the first time I give it a twist, you do your Elmsley Count, and nothing happens. So in order to get the ace of spades, I have to add an extra move, but all I do is crack the middle and fan out to get the ace of spades. Now, all that is at the end, I'm pulling out the top card and the bottom card, so you get this sort of grip on the top and bottom edges. And you pull out the top and the bottom card as one. So you've got the bottom card is under this side, the ace of spades, actually face up there, and then just bend in the middle, and then just slide your fingers apart into that grip and put them down. And at this point I'd normally flip them over so the ace of spades doesn't have a double back, and all the other ones are just the normal aces, and that's all there is to it. So that is Verner's Twisted Aces, and that's part 2 of my routine. You've now got your 4 aces out and you're ready to go into the Aces for Connoisseurs and Henry Christ's fabulous 4 aces. And that will be the subject of the next tutorial. So things to remember from this one. Practice that Elmsley Count is really the only thing. I'll talk a little bit more about combining the routines and making them flow rather than just sort of putting it in here. Obviously, after you've done the 4 ace production, you're in a position to go straight into the Twisted Aces very, very naturally, because your aces have appeared. And then you can just do your Twisted Aces, and then you're again ready to set up. But I'll talk a little bit more about making them smooth and patter that you can do in between, so it doesn't look like here's a trick, here's another trick, here's another trick, but it looks like one seamless routine. So for this one, just concentrate on doing that Elmsley Count. When you can get that Elmsley Count really, really smooth and natural and comfortable, try to apply it to your 4 ace trick to get twisting the aces. A little bit further down the line, I'll show you some more things you can do with an Elmsley Count. But for now, that's all we've got. So I will see you again very soon for part 3, where we'll do Aces for Connoisseurs and the fabulous 4 aces.